damana vidana
Gopiya paranana dhana madan manohar kaliya damana vedhana
amala harina mamiya vilasa
amal harinam amiya vilasa
amala harina mamiya vilasa
amal harinam amiya vilasa
Vipina Purandara Navina Nagara Bora Vamsi Vadana Suvasa
विपिन पुरंदर नवीन नगर बोर बमिस बदन सुवासा
Braja Jana Palana Surakula Nasana Nanda Godana Raguvala
ब्रज जन पालन असुर कुलासन नंद गोधन रखवाला
Govindam Madhava Navanida Taskara Sundarananda Gopala
गोविंद माधव नवनिति तस्कर सुंदर नंद गोपाला
Yamuna Tattachara Gopi Vasanagara Rasa Rasiha Kripamoya
यमुना तट पर गोपी बसन हर रस रसिक पामोया
Shri Radha Vallava Vrindavana Natapara Bhakti Vinodashraya
श्री राधा वल्लभ वृंदावन नटबर भक्ति विनोद असराया
Shri Radha Vallava Vrindavana Natapara Bhakti Vinodashraya
श्री राधा वल्लभ वृंदावन नटबर भक्ति विनोद असराया.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Translation. Lord Krishna is the beloved son of Mother Yasoda, the transcendental lover in land of Braja, the delight of Gokul, Kana, a nickname of Krishna, the wealth of life of gopis. He steals the mind of even Cupid and punishes the Kaliya Sapan. These pure holy name of Lord Hari are full of sweet nectarian pastime. Krishna is the Lord of the 12 forests of Braja. He is ever youthful and the best of lovers. He always playing on a flute and is an excellent dresser. Krishna is the protector of inhabitants of Braja, the destroyer of various demonic dynasties, the keeper and tender of Nanda Maharaj's cows, the giver of pleasure to the cows, land, and spiritual senses, the husband of the goddess of fortune, the butter thief, the beautiful cowherd boy of Nanda Maharaj. Krishna wandered along the bank of river Yamuna. He stole the garlands of the young themselves of Braja who were bathing there. He delights the mellow of rasa dance. He is very merciful, the lover and beloved of Srimati Radharani, the great dancer of Vrindavan, and the shelter and only refuge of Thakur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So today is
Hare Krishna.
Friday and Maharaj is here. So.
What is the link for the YouTube? I have 20,000.
It is already, Maharaj, YouTube is already on. You can see now the screen, it says YouTube.
Yeah, but I need the link.
I don't know.
The link is in the chat, Maharaj, on WhatsApp and on Zoom. I've sent it on both places.
No, you sent the Zoom link. You didn't send the YouTube link.
It is already on YouTube, Maharaj.
And I put the link in our WhatsApp group. It's in both. And you look on the chat, I put it there and on the thing. I'll send it again, but I've sent it.
No.
Yeah,
Let me go.
Manju on Zoom, it is Zoom's link. I think by mistake.
Yeah. Let me go to the YouTube. Okay, I'm going to what's up? Now I'm going to Sri Varnabar. I'm copying it. Okay. Now I'm going to something here. I have to go to Twitter now. Okay. When I go to my donkey face, I go to profile, I go to tweet, and I type here FES live. Type in the link, and I send it. Okay, now all my thousands and millions of followers will join us on YouTube. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So we have maybe theoretically here one PowerPoint show. And different people, we have nice deity of Lord Nishingadev, and he has a chakra that you can take off. We've got a lock washer, star-shaped lock washer from the hardware store, a nice chakra, and his thumb comes out. And so we were thinking about this, that there are very, very nice prayers. Of course, the Sudarshan chakra is mentioned different places in Krishna's pastimes, but very much especially in the story of Durvasa Muni's light spirit. Then we have the story. Somebody's microphone's open. They're talking in a strange, funny language. Swahili. So, let me see here. Yeah. What's happening here? Om Namo Bhagavate. Oh yeah, I think I got it. Put on my camera. There we go. Okay, yeah, okay. So, in Durvasa Muni, of course, Durvasa Muni is being chased by the Sudarshan chakra because he tried to kill the Vaishnava because he didn't serve your lunch properly. So, he went over to Vijay's Mataji's house for lunch, and fortunately we were a little bit more peaceful than Durvasa Muni. The subject is too hot, like her shoe. So then we look here in this chapter 5, Durvasa Muni life story. It's probably the 9th canto, because the 9th canto is all the story of the descendants of our Manu, by Visvata Manu. And in that dynasty of the sun, dynasty of the moon, Ambarish appears. This is a very fantastic person. Probably even mentioned out of Puranas. So here there are his prayers to the Sudarshan chakra, because Durvasa Muni goes all the way to Lord Vishnu. Such power. I think he can even go to the spiritual world. He's an incarnation of Lord Shiva. Yeah. And so he went there, and Vishnu said, the only way you can get relief is to go to Durvasa Muni and beg his forgiveness. So he went there and paid his obeisances, and Ambarish was very embarrassed. My goodness, great Brahman was paying obeisances. And then he began to pray to the Sudarshan chakra. So I'll just go ahead and chant these, and everybody else, please just chant along in your own house there. These are the prayers to Sudarshan, then we have translation. Tvam Agnir Bhagavan Suryas, Tvam Somo Jyoti Sampatahi, Tvam Apas Tvam Shitir Vyoma, Vayor Matindriyani Cha, Sudarshana Namastubhyam, Sahasvarachudha Priya, Sarvastra Gatin Vipraya, Swasti Bhuya Idaspate. Tvam dharmas tvam nita satyam, tvam yagna kilo yagna bhut, tvam loka pala sarvatma, tvam teja parusham param. Namasubha kila dharma setave, hiya dharma shilasura duma ketave, Pailokya gopaya vishuddha varchase, Manoja Vayadbhuta Karmane Grine Swahate Jasa Dharma Mayena Samritam Amaprakashashtadrisho Mahatmanam Duratya Yaste Mahima Girapate Varupametat Sadasat Paravaram Yada Vishristas Twam Anjanena Vai Balam Pravisto Jitadaitya Danavam Bahudaro Vagni Shirodarani Vrishchanna Jashram Pradana Virjase Satvam Jagatana Kala Prahanaye Nirupita Sarva Sahogadabrita Vipashya Chasma Kuladai Vihetave Videha Bhadram Taranugraho Hina Yaryastadatam Istamba Sadarmon Svanistita Kulam no Vipradaivam Ched Vijo Bhavatu Vijvara Yadi no Bhagavan Prita Eka Sarva Gunashraya Sarva Bhuta Madhavena Vijo Bhavato Vijvara. Ambarish Maharaj said, "Oh, Sudarshan Chakra, you are fire. You are the most powerful sun. You are the moon, the master of all luminaries. You are water, earth, sky. You are the air. You are the five sense objects, and you are the senses also. O most fortunate Achyuta, the Supreme Personality, almost favorite of Achyuta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you have thousands of spokes. O Master of the material world, destroyer of all weapons, original version of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Kindly give shelter and be auspicious to this Brahmana." There's a picture, a drawing, a window on the spiritual world. And Devasumuni is below paying his obeisances, the Sudarshan is shocking everybody. O Sudarshana wheel, you are religion, you are truth, you are encouraging statements, you are sacrifice, you are the enjoyer of the fruits of sacrifice. You are the maintainer of the entire universe, and you are the supreme transcendental prowess in the hands of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are the original vision of the Lord, and therefore you are known as Sudarshana. Everything has been created by your activities, and therefore you are all pervading. O Sudarshana, you have a very auspicious hub, and therefore you are the upholder of all religion. You are just like an inauspicious comet for the irreligious demons. Indeed, you are the maintainer of the three worlds. You are full of transcendental effulgence. You are as quick as the mind, and you're able to work wonders. I can simply utter the word Namaha, offering obeisances unto you. O Master of speech, by your effulgence, full of religious principles, the darkness of the world is dissipated. The knowledge of learned persons or great souls, learned persons, is manifested. Okay. Indeed, no one can surpass your effulgence for all things, manifested and unmanifested, gross and subtle, superior and inferior, but various forms of you that are manifested by your effulgence. So when I was reading these this morning, I was becoming a little like frightened of my Sudarshan chakra. You know, sometimes he was falling off or this and that. And when we're associating with the deities, we're actually associating with Krishna in these forms. Of course, we do it by first paying our obeisances to the parampara and knowing that it's impossible to successfully associate with Sudarshan. But we have so many arrogant, selfish desires. Given the power and body of Durvasa Muni, how many of us would become just like him? O indefatigable one, when you are sent by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to enter among the soldiers of the Daityas and Danavas, you stay on the battlefield and unendingly separate their arms, bellies, thighs, legs, and heads. O protector of the universe, you are engaged by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his all-powerful weapon in killing the envious enemies. For the benefit of our dynasty, kindly favor this poor Brahmana. This will certainly be a favor for all of us. If our family has given charity to the proper persons, if we have performed the ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices, if we have properly carried out our occupational duties, and if we have been guided by learned brahmanas, I wish in exchange that this brahmana be free from the burning caused by the Sudarshan chakra. Yadi no Bhagavan Krita Eka Sarva Gunashraya Sarva Bhutatma Bhavena Vijo Bhavato Vijvaraha. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is one without a second, who is the reservoir of all transcendental qualities, with one without a second, the reservoir of all transcendental qualities, and who is the life and soul of all living entities, is pleased with us, we wish that this Brahmana, Durvasa Muni, be free from the pain of being born. God. So very, very nice prayers to the Sudarshan chakra. And of course, again, we will be worshiping our own deities, and we begin to appreciate different qualities. Somebody's maybe worshiping Balagopal. So there's so many stories and prayers and things about Balagopal in the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, to be able to appreciate him and worship him like that. And the Nectar of Devotion probably talks about the different aspects of devotional service and practice, of worshiping the banyan tree, tulsi tree, accepting spiritual master, learning how to do Sankirtan, observing days of Ekadasi. And one of them is offering prayers. And there he says that there are so many thousands of, I think he says hundreds of prayers in the Bhagavatam. And he says, of course, the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is full of wonderful prayers by Arjuna. Then he says everybody should memorize some prayers as part of his devotional service to Krishna. So very, very nice. I was remembering these, and now we will remember, be able to remember where they are. There's not much in the purports. The purports are quite simple. Of course, Sudarshan is Krishna's eternal associate, but I think he's given by Vishvakarma or something. There's some descriptions in the Wikipedia, which of course is not necessarily guaranteed to be a really accurate thing. The Prabhupada doesn't go into much detail, but as we're chanting and worshiping, these things become revealed to us. So going on here, this is very nice. It reminds us of another very nice verse. Please repeat. Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnur aradhanam param Tasma param Devi Tadiyanam samacharam Aradhananam. Of course, this is where the word Radha comes from. She's the best worshiper. Arada means worship. She's Radha. Aradhananam, amongst the Aradas, Sarvesham, all, Vishnur, of Vishnu, worship, Aradhanam, Param. Amongst all the kinds of different worship of Vishnu is supreme. However, Devi, Superior to that, Tadi Tadiyanam Sarasamatya. The worship of the devotees or the paraphernalia of Vishnu is even greater. O Devi, the most exalted system of worship is the worship of Lord Vishnu. Greater than that is the worship of Tadiya or anything belonging to Vishnu. And somehow or other, we've lost our link here. Well, let's go to database.io. Okay, database.io. Okay, and let's go to search. Okay, and let's go to Aradhanam. Aradhanam. Okay, didn't come in. We have to go back to our PowerPoint show. Here it is. And we can put that exactly. So copy. We're going to search again. And come on. Okay, this is the verse. Okay. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 12:38. This is a very nice example of Kavya. Krishna. Of course, Vishnu has club, shoes, flute. So please repeat. Vastra Pana Rajarahaila Andita Mana. Tabu Rupakari Kari Vastra Pujana. Again. Vastra Pana Rajarahaila Andita Mana. Prabhu Rupakari Kari Vastra Pujana. So Maharaj Prataparudra, he's not this Maharaj, he's an emperor. He was all of Orissa and in the south, Madras, Ramananda Roy was his viceroy, power in the south. But he was in charge of so many rajas, great personality. But he wanted to worship one mendicant with no clothes, no hatless, no nothing, no Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But his attempt to worship him directly was unsuccessful. So then the devotees devised the scheme of Lord Chaitanya's knowledge, taking one of his old garments and then giving that to the king. So it says here, when the king received the old cloth, he began to worship it exactly as he would worship the Lord personally. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This is also the conclusion of the Vedic injunctions. Since the supreme personality of Godhead is the absolute truth, everything in relation to him is on the same platform. The king had great affection for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and although he did not see the Lord, he had nonetheless already attained the conclusion of devotional service. Immediately upon receiving the cloth from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the king began to worship it, accepting it as the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord's clothing, bedding, slippers, and everything required as ordinary necessity are all transformations of Kresha, of Vishnu, the expansion of Sri Baladev. Thus the cloth and other paraphernalia of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are but other forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everything connected to the Lord is worshipable. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs us that just as Krishna is worshipable, Krishna's place in Vrindavan is worshipable, and Vrindavan is worshipable, similar to paraphernalia in Vrindavan. The trees, the roads, the rivers, everything is worshipable. A pure devotee that sings Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Basi Yata Jan, sung by Krishna Das Bhagavan. Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Basi Yati Jan. All glories to the residents of Vrindavan. If a devotee has a staunch devotional attitude, all these conclusions will be awakened or revealed within his heart. Yasya Devi Para Bhaktir Yata Deve Tata Gurau. Asyaite Katitna Yarta Prakasante Mahatmanaha. Only to those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master are all the imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. Svetas Vairutana Upanishad 623. Thus, following in the footsteps of Maharaj Prataparud and others devotees, we should learn to worship everything belonging to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is referred to by Lord Shiva as Tadiyanam. In the Padma Purana, it is said, O Devi, the most exalted system of worship is worship of Lord Vishnu. Greater than this is worship of Tadiya, or everything belonging to Vishnu. Sri Vishnu is the Satchidananda Vigraha. Similarly, the most confidential servant of Krishna, the spiritual master, and all the devotees of Vishnu are Tadiya, the Satchidananda Vigraha Guru. Vaishnavas. A thing used by them, maybe it must be considered Tadiya, and without a doubt worshipable by all living beings. So, of course, the paraphernalia that we have, if we have a flute for Krishna, it was in Vijay's house, they were talking about how, I forget the name of the group now, they only have Krishna's mukut, his crown, and his flute there. Okay, but of course it depends upon the consciousness and how it's being performed like that. Because maybe, again, somebody wants to approach the guru, but doesn't want to accept the guru as representative of Krishna. Prabhupada says because they're impersonalists, all they can see is the enormous feet of their Guru Maharaj. Yeah, but no, Prabhupada said it's offensive unless we see Guru as representative of Vishnu. And a police officer, if we're trying to ignore that he's a representative of his patrol captain, representative of higher authorities, and he's insulted by this. He feels he's not representing himself properly, and so on. So same way, of course, then Upanishad gives us nice instructions about how to appreciate different levels of devotees. These are all Tadiya. Text number 6 talks about the Uttama Adhikari. Whatever he gives, whatever he says, we accept with great intensity. So in Prabhupada leading a kirtan, we listen with great intensity and then try to respond. Prabhupada says, first I chant and you listen. And he says, you chant and I listen. So the spiritual master, he's trying to understand how the disciples have understood. And of course, this is the essence of our process. This is Sankirtan, not just Kirtan, but Sankirtan. So very, very nice. And then as we're engaged in Sankirtan, we can begin to appreciate, okay, the people that are responding or the guy who's leading is Kanista Adhikari. Okay, so I can tell by listening to somebody who's Kanista Adhikari chanting for 20 minutes, you can understand with their attachments, and even sometimes you can understand that they're intoxicated to, some problems with intoxication or something else. So it reveals everything going on, hearing people chanting. So, otherwise, it's just very superficial. They're doing it because they want some positions, some prestige, and they're formally chanting, and the mantra is there. But that's their purposeful relationship. So Tadiya, the devotees of Vishnu, and Madhyama Adhikari, then we're paying our obeisances. But we understand that there's going to be attachments, and when we're chanting back and forth, we're trying to respond and help the other person, either if we're leading or following. We're trying to understand, okay, how can I chant and help this person see their attachment so they can get free from them. And of course, again, Uttama Adhikari is listening to the devotees responding again to help them. So very, very nice perspective. Right? I'm understanding. I'm sure my worship of my Sudarshan chakra is going to be a lot more purified now. So any comments or questions? Anybody have any Sudarshan chakras in their house?
We used to have, when you used to live this thing there with us, then we used to have Maharaj, but not anymore. But Maharaj, then verse 957, translation says,
One second. My headphones on. They're going by with inferiority complex.
so Maharaj, in this verse 957,
Okay.
Sudarshan is described as, master of speech. What that means?
It's described several places. Where are we here? Yeah. Same way to describe it. For example, fire. Fire resides in the mouth.
Okay.
And so speech, when it's done properly, has all that potency, all that power. It burns the most. One definition of poetry describes poetry as words that burn. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
It was, you wonderfully described the Todiya, not only animate and inanimate, both the things of Todiya, the devotees. And that's
Yeah.
really, yeah.
If the government, if the king or the chief executive is a religious person trying to follow, I mean, they are Tadiya. They're as worshipable as the Lord.
Mhm.
And of course, they're accessible to the common people. You know, if the leader is a very good religious person, then for him, for the common people, that's how they can appreciate God. They can look at his comportment, his wife's comportment, everything else, and then they can, in the mode of ignorance and the mode of passion, then they can have a very, very nice form of worship, either Steer or Ram or people like that. Ariyanam.
Any other question, comment from Maharaj?
Wow. Vishnu Charan is Tadiyam of the Sankirtan. Incredible. Yeah. You got to take your shirt off, though. And everybody else has their shirt off. I don't know. Maybe you're. Yeah. It's a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
So we've been going on here. We have we're going to go to what is it to what was that place? Well, we're publishing our copy to every 2 weeks with all of our news. But we're going to go to what's the place? Richmond, I guess, for the next fortnight, and do a program there. We've decided we'll travel to people pick us up at the doorstep and drop us off again, like that. And so then we'll go there, and then they're going to come back on the airplane with us, the Subal. And the next day, they're already planning 5 or 6 devotees want to drive here for the festival. So we'll be having, and they should be, I sent the poster to them and it says, Manjari put on RSVP. So I don't know if has anybody RSVP'd? Manjari Singh, are you there? Well, anyway, I'll try and work on that. The people, and they're gonna like what's it called, R&B or whatever it's called, and share it and have their own kitchen and everything else. But Friday night, people will be here. I think Gaurav Prabhu won't be able to be here, but it would be nice on Friday night, maybe some program with the Radhanath bars for a few people. What else we can do? A program here in our patio also. Even on Sunday morning, they'll be here. So maybe Sunday morning in Radhanath bars. Something is people can see Radhanath bar, and of course they're doing the same thing we're trying to do. They're building a new temple. Entire new temple there. And they've gone through the whole process, and they're actually just about ready to, open it like that. So same way, understanding and talking to them how they did it, how their community got together, how so many Indian friends and members started coming to home programs and started adopting, ISKCON. So very, very nice, talking with them and then maybe making some sister city, Richmond. There's a direct flight. Aliante Airlines has a direct flight. If you just take a personal item, it's only $50 one way. So they're like Jagannath Puri and Navadvip. Richmond, Bugagiri, Giribag. So that's the end of our contribution. Edible.
There are no questions from Maharaj, so we will ask Krishna Prabhu to lead us in blessing a prayer.
Yeah.
Namaste Narasimhaya प्रहलाद लाद दायिने हिरण्यकशिपु वक्षः शीलाडङ्खानखालये इतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो पाहे नरसिंहो हृदय नरसिंहो नरसिंहामादिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलबरे नाखामद्भुतशृङ्गा धारिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमल बरे नखामद्भुत शृंगा धारिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गम् केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा नरसिंह भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय प्रभात की जय
So with this, we end tonight's program. But before we do that, we have Vaishnava Pranam. So please unmute yourself and Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हरे कृष्णा
Thank you.
thank you Maharaj
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.